The Advanced Humanities class from Ballard High School recently returned from an educational trip to Europe. Students experienced different cultures and visited many historic sites, but they say it was as much fun as it was enlightening.
We have an Advanced Humanities course at Ballard High School that is associated with a European trip.
And it was after school, 3 days a week for 2 semesters. And we learned a lot about music and art of ancient and modern and medieval times.
And we do the spring semester of the previous school year before they travel, and then the fall semester of the semester we travel, and that way they have completed an entire course before we actually go. The students get a much greater appreciation and frankly enjoyment, even though the day-to-day schedule of the class is not always the most enjoyable, of course, but the end result, they're so happy that they are knowledgeable and that they get to see things that they've been taught, and their appreciation is so much better. And to actually see the excitement from a kid when they get to see a painting in person that you taught them 6 months ago and they've never even seen before that day is a very exciting thing for a teacher.
We went to Athens, and while there we went to the Acropolis to see the Parthenon and some famous temples.
And it was just amazing to see that something so old and so massive could last that long through history, and it was really, you were really being able to see the history that was there.
People used it at one time and someone actually built that, and you get to learn why it's there and the significance of it instead of about just reading facts in a book.
I can explain things to kids, I can show them videos, I can take them and show them pictures, but there's nothing like seeing it and doing it for yourself. The first time I went to Italy and saw a lot of the major sites of the Renaissance, I'm a much better teacher now of that material because I can explain it in a passionate and didactic and tactile way than I ever could from just having read about those things in a book.
My favorite thing was definitely the Parthenon because I had learned about it for so long, and even back in middle school we learned about it, and just being able to know the history behind it and how much effort it took to make it made me really appreciate it.
My favorite place to visit was definitely the Vatican City. Seeing the churches there, or the church there, it was really beautiful, lots of different architecture and paintings. The whole thing was different, especially the Sistine Chapel, because there was so much art I had seen before, and just seeing it in person was amazing.
We had never done this gladiator school.
Yo!
And man, it was by far, from an adult perspective, watching them, and from the kid perspective, it was the best one of those kind of hands-on learning activities we've ever done. We loved it.
We used shields, and we had to, we learned how to, get bags out of our way, like fake obstacles, like we were really training. We also got to use bow and arrows and did a little archery.
That means, remember, help your attack moving forward.
Using these real wooden swords and actually doing the moves that the gladiators did is really exciting and entertaining. And then the people who taught it were really intense, so you felt like you were getting a real gladiator lesson back in ancient Rome.
We were there for probably 2.5, 3 hours, and they all got to participate, and that's the best part is they all got to do it, they all got to say they were part of it, and that's just a wonderful experience for them. So the tour company, I have to give them the credit, but it's something that if we go back to Rome from now on, it is on the must-do list. Every time we go to Rome in the future, we will definitely be back there. I want the students to have learned about a different culture and then put that learning to practice and really get to apply what they have learned. And really as educators, that's our goal, is whatever we teach them in our subjects, we want them to take that with them to the wider world. I want them to understand that there are different parts of life and different ways of looking at things. One's not right or wrong. I think a lot of times they're just different perspectives, and it's good to see that. It's good to be willing to take educational and intellectual risks, like new foods and going to a place where you're not going to know everything, it's not going to be as comfortable. And if nothing else, I hope they get the bug, and if they have the ability and the money and the time, that they go again and share that love of travel with other people, because I think that's a great gift to give to someone else.